What's up, fight fans? I'm Flyin Brian J for MMAmania.com. Donald the Cowboy Cerrone versus Kelvin on a mission for gold. Gastelum is a really important fight for UFC's welterweight division, and on top of that, it is extremely exciting. At least on paper, this fight should provide quite a bit of fireworks on November 12th from Madison Square Garden at UFC 205 on the pay-per-view portion. Let's get right into the matchup, starting with the tail of the tape. But before we do that, I have to ask you to please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. My goal for thumbs up on the video is 25. With your help, I think I can get there. Now, let's get into the matchup. First thing I want you to notice is that Cerrone has a 4-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage, but according to Fightnomics by Reed Kuhn with Kelly Krieger, those numbers aren't significant. But something that is significant is that Gastelum is 7.5 years younger than Cerrone, and according to Fightnomics, a fighter with that large of a youth advantage wins 65% of the time. Next thing we need to notice is that Gastelum is a southpaw, Cerrone is an orthodox fighter, and Cerrone has struggled a little bit with southpaws in the past. Overall, Kelvin Gastelum is 13-2, Cerrone is 31-7 with 1 no contest, but since moving to 170 pounds, Cerrone is 3-0, but against southpaws he is only 2-5. 2 of those 5 were against Rafael dos Anjos, who was coached by Rafael Cordeiro at King's MMA. And fun fact, that is where Kelvin Gastelum is training right now, and he feels like he's going to have an advantage over Cerrone because his coach and camp have already defeated Cowboy 2 times, and Cowboy struggles against southpaws. In the significant strikes, Cerrone lands a little bit more with more accuracy, but he defends less. In the grappling section, I'm interested to see that Cerrone averages more takedowns per fight, but he has less takedown accuracy. He does have better takedown defense, and of course, Cerrone has more submission attempts per 15-minute fight. We already mentioned the southpaw versus orthodox nature of this bout and how Cordeiro is coaching Gastelum and coaching against Cerrone for the 3rd time, so let's get right into the stylistic matchup portion of this video. For Gastelum, early on in his career, he was mostly a wrestler, but lately he has really developed into a pressure fighter with overall really fundamentally sound and effective striking skills. He throws very few high kicks, but the kicks that he does throw are very effective. He uses a lot of low kicks, and he throws quite a few round kicks to the body, which might be really effective against Cerrone, because we all know that it's the left power kick to Cerrone's body that really affected him in fights such as his bout against Anthony Pettis, and when he got finished early against Rafael dos Anjos in his last title attempt. Gastelum also throws quite a few combinations and punches and bunches, and he usually moves forward. He likes throwing a right jab a whole bunch, and it's kind of telling when he's going to be throwing a left straight, and that is his most effective weapon, is that left straight, similar to the main event of this fight card in Conor McGregor. He has fantastic wrestling, even though he hasn't used it as of late, but he has shown some susceptibility in the wrestling department like he did against Neil Magny 2 fights back. So Cerrone, moving over to him, he could exploit the weaknesses that Gastelum has in his defensive grappling, because as of late, Cerrone has turned into a pretty solid wrestler. He throws mostly reactive takedowns where he'll get a fighter to come toward him and then hit a reactive double, but it's really, really effective. On the ground, Cerrone would have a vast advantage in the submission department because he is really skilled in jiu-jitsu. Just look at his submission over Oliveira and over some of the stuff that he's done throughout his career. He has a lot of submission victories. On the feet, Cerrone is a really skilled Muay Thai kickboxer. This guy will throw a lot of low kicks to the legs that would be setting up a high kick that is really dangerous. If Donald Cerrone's shin hits his opponent's dome piece, they're probably going down. Just ask Adriano Martins. He threw a low kick a bunch of times, and then when Adriano was getting used to that, he threw it high. Knockout. Cerrone also has really crisp hands, and even though he's standing in orthodox stance, his left hook is extremely dangerous. That is what got him a victory against Patrick the Predator Cote. And overall, Cerrone is really fast. He was quick at 155 pounds. Now at 170 pounds, he's even quicker, and he has somehow found more power. And we mentioned his susceptibility to that body kick. Overall, in the past, he's been really susceptible to body damage. He's a tall guy. He kind of stands tall. But I think that since moving to 170 pounds, without depleting his body so much, he has regained a little bit of his damage-taking ability to the body since moving up a weight class. So I think he'll be just ever so slightly less susceptible to that left power kick from Gastelum. I mentioned that Gastelum is a pressure fighter, and on the flip side, Cerrone, although he does not move forward and pressure guys, he will never take a step back. You're not going to be able to take ground from Cerrone, and in fact, if you give him ground, that could be putting yourself in a world of danger. Cerrone was a fierce competitor at 155 pounds, where he stacked up a lot of high-profile victories. And since moving to 170 pounds, he just has looked a lot better. He's smoother, he starts faster, and he's even found a little bit of power, which is absolutely incredible. I don't think that we should be doubting him here, and I really don't think that Gastelum is going to be able to contend with him in the majority of the areas where this fight is going to be taking place. Donald Cerrone, I think, has the advantage in the striking and in the overall grappling. He hits harder, and he's more diverse. So I think that he gets a victory in round number 3, but we cannot discount Gastelum because he is a southpaw, which Cerrone struggles against. He's got Rafael Cordeiro in his corner, which Rafael's already beat Cerrone twice with Rafael dos Anjos. And also, Cerrone has been thinking about a fight with Damian Maia at UFC 207. So maybe he's not focused on Gastelum. And if he's not, that could really be detrimental. But like I said, I've got the Cowboy with a 3rd round finish. Tell me what you have in the comment section down below. Once again, please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on my next one. Namaste.